Common and uncommon cards deserve love too. How's it going, everyone? It's Joe here from Silphco Consultancy. Today, I'm going to be going over a couple of interesting and creative ways that we can get artsy with our bulk cards, because if anyone among you has opened a ton of booster packs, you end up with a lot of cards. And even if you are trying to like bulk some of these away just to get some money back, every now and then you can find diamonds in the rough that you just seem attached to for some reason. Random common and uncommon cards just catch your eye, and every time you look at them, you get excited by them and you love the artwork and the artist behind it and all that sort of stuff. So today we're going to be cherry picking those sorts of cards and trying to do a little bit of something special with them to allow them to, remain part of your collection almost, rather than just sticking like one card in a binder. We can get a little bit more creative here and get really something out of these cards, because at the end of the day, there is a huge amount of great artwork at every single set, and we always lose sight of that when we're ripping into booster packs looking for the full arts, the hyper rares, the chase cards. Pack after pack, we end up getting lots of great artwork, and really appreciating that is something that I'm really interested in and trying to add to my collection outside of simply putting them into a binder. So the first technique of getting artsy with these cards is going to be collaging. I think it's a really fun thing to do. Obviously, Pokemon cards come with that little square insert in the box, which really helps here for a collaging approach, because we can simply cut into that sort of rectangle. You have the full artwork of the card. You don't really care about the attacks or anything else to do with the Pokemon card. You just want that artwork. And because they're in these great rectangles for you, you can square them out and end up actually being a great way to create potentially a cover for your binder, potentially. Also can be used with booster packs in a similar vein, or could be put into a frame quite nicely as well if you're going to have multiple of a card that you really like, or if you want to have some evolution lines and that sort of thing going on. Obviously the common and uncommon cards are going to be the ones that hurt your budget the least, so it could just be cherry picking some of your favorites, maybe all from one type, something like that. Could be a great way to express your love for some of these awesome artworks. The next thing on the list, I'm sure you've already seen multiple people posting about these over Facebook and Instagram and other social media, but creating full art cards from usually half art cards. The commons and uncommons, once again, where you're going to paint around this. Now, this does obviously require some skill, so it's not for everyone, but even getting these sorts of things commissioned could be an option for you if you have any artsy friends out there, or if you see someone that you like on the social media platforms. I'm sure you can send them a request and they will get that done for you if they have the time and the means. But yeah, there are some great common and uncommon artworks that I would personally love to get extended. Things like Dragonair from base set would obviously be a great one. It's an artwork that a lot of people love, but even common cards. Look at Shining Fates Eevee. I think the Eevee in the ocean is looking awesome, and I think if you just go deeper with that sort of deep blue sort of background and it's all underwater, you can have other Pokemon added into the mix where you just have extra great background, because that's also a huge part of Pokemon cards. It's not just the foreground of the card, the Pokemon itself. Oftentimes the background is the main thing that we're appreciating for the artwork here. So cherry picking these sorts of things can also be really awesome, and I think it's a great way to extend the art of some of your favorite cards. One thing I will say when selecting the sort of Pokemon that you want to use for your sort of canvas, I would definitely be a little bit wary of cards that are already in like a standing position, because I've seen this over and over again where you see a Pokemon, it's fully in shot in their little rectangle, and then when people fan out to do the full artwork, they end up just doing like the rest of the grass that was already like in the shot, and you can't really do much outside of adding like rocks and stuff like that and maybe a flower here or there. So I think keeping an eye on maybe some sort of psychedelic or non-realistic backgrounds can also be great, because then you can start doing awesome like color infusions here and there, or even Pokemon that are to do with the sky, or they're up in the air, because then you have a broader base to work off of. Sometimes there are like buildings and stuff in the background. That's where you can get interesting architecture going on with your own creation. And even the ocean, I think that's one that I always love looking at, because firstly, I just love the colors of that sort of thing, but also you have the scope there to have, again, other Pokemon sort of dwelling in the deep blue sea. So you have a lot more creativity with those types of cards. So choose carefully when you're looking to create a new full art card. The final one is actually one that I'm like personally super interested in. It's trying to create a 3D sort of perspective layered artwork of one card. And I think there's a lot of reasons why I really like this as an option. Personally, I'm very, very bad at painting, so I'd be sticking to collaging or this option, and it's actually something that I have earmarked for a little project of mine, because it really is a project. You need to put time and effort into this, but you don't necessarily need the artsy skills that you might for some of the other methods that I've just mentioned, especially the painting one. So yeah, all you really need to do is get yourself a stack of one type of card of the same artwork. And what we're going to try and do here is create a 3D layered effect all on one card by essentially chopping away bits here and there and stacking them on top of one another. You end up having like a bit of a wedge of all one card when you stick them all together with adhesive glue, and you end up having a card sort of popping out of its own image box, which I think is awesome. So in this example with the horsey here, you can see that I'll obviously be popping out the horsey themselves. I'll have the stream of water going on here, and in the background there'll be like mountains going on and the water in the foreground. So I have a lot of things to like sort of chop up and sort of figure out. But what I love about this is, once again, you're exploring your favorite artworks of the common and uncommon cards. You're really paying more attention to these details because they deserve all of the attention, especially some excellent artworks that always get overlooked, I think, by people over and over again. But this is a great way for you to cherry pick your favorite card from a set or something like that, especially in recent times. And it's obviously not going to hurt the bank at all, just getting rid of, you know, like 10 horsey cards or whatever, and then having extra like background bulk cards that you can use to pad out and make a real 3D effect. But it's a really awesome project for you. You basically just need a crafting knife and some adhesive glue, maybe a ruler and some like marker pens, that sort of thing. But then you can get chopping into your cards and try and create something for yourself. And, you know, I'm not really an artsy person per se, but I like the attempt here, and I like the craft element of it, where it's, you know, you just need to be, you know, fairly accurate with a knife, but you can use a ruler for that, and you can sort of draw things out for yourself. So you don't need all the skills here, but you can still end up with a really nice showpiece, really. And you're making something out of nothing, essentially, because otherwise these cards are just going to get thrown away, given away, or just sold for like pennies. So I think it's an excellent way to really show your appreciation for some excellent artworks, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So it really is a great way to enhance the hobby. You get to explore all sorts of cards that you may not really have looked over once or twice. You just skim through a booster pack looking for your reverse holo and your holographic. But all the while, there's all these gems in your collection that you just have lying in a box right now. So I implore you to go look through those boxes, start seeing some of your favorite artworks, cherry pick them, and see if you want to do one of these things that I've mentioned today. Let me know if you have any other great ideas that you can do to spruce up your bulk and do something with them outside of making them paperweights or just hiding them under the bed, because I certainly have a lot of bulk, so I have a lot of ideas of what I'm going to do with all those sorts of things. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and leave a like if you did. Come back next time, because I will be back soon with more videos over at Silphco Consultancy. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.